All right. That's not supposed to happen. Hey, it's LJ, and welcome to another episode of LJ Reacts. For those who don't know, those who only just sort of come across this channel, this is where I sit back and I do a load of reaction videos, try and catch up on some of the pop culture aspects I seem to have missed out on while I've been focusing on growing up. How's that working out for me? Well, I have a dinosaur sitting next to me. That's how well this growing up thing's going for me. But in all seriousness, yeah, I do a host of reaction videos. Usually it's music videos. Sometimes I do other things. And yeah, sort of try and catch up on the world of pop culture that seems to be very quickly passing me by. Yeah, if you do like what you're seeing, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Come on, you know how this works. The YouTube algorithm is out to get us all, and I frankly would like your help to defeat it. You can, of course, also chuck comments down below if there's anything particular you want me to cover. Other than that, you can check me out on the socials above. Sometimes I appear live in public, as noted on the events tab on that link tree just there, as well as all my other projects if you want to see me involved in other things. And, well, I mean, if you've got some spare change, you can just drop it in the tip jar right there. Other than that, let's get a move on with what we're doing, shall we? So today I'm doing something just a little bit different. When I started these up again, these reaction videos, I was planning on doing like maybe every week or so, do something that wasn't a music video. And as I announced when I did the Dolly Parton video, that's kind of fallen apart a little bit because I just don't want to upset the current striking actors unions. So that's basically all aspects of pop culture that have writing unions behind them kind of just dragged away from me, which is kind of sort of. To sort of start with, I thought, well, maybe I'll just be stuck doing various other sort of music videos. But the more I think about it, there are elements out there that don't have union interference that I will not be stepping on anyone's toes by covering them. Probably one of the more better known in certain circles is professional wrestling. For those who aren't in the know, the weekend that this is dropping will see the best attended pro wrestling event of all time in the United Kingdom when AEW All In happens at Wembley Stadium. And so that's the reason why I'm doing this. You know, it's my way of sort of celebrating, you know, this mass achievement from an industry that I used to be involved with. So how am I doing that? What am I reacting to? I'm gonna, because the event's close to home. Wembley is what, an hour and a half drive from here. I thought, well, let's keep this reaction close to home. So I am doing my time in wrestling. Yeah, that's right. I existed before I did YouTube. Yeah, so I spent several years doing various different roles, both behind and in front of camera in pro wrestling. And so I've found a couple of my greatest hits, and that's what I'm going to be reacting to. It's really weird because I'm not seeing some of these clips are got to be nearly 10 years old, and I have not seen most of them in that time, barring maybe a couple of random clips that I put together for things. So it's going to be interesting sort of looking back at, because this is how I spent a lot of my 20s in like halls like you're about to watch. And it's just going to be weird just to sort of see, you know, just to sort of kind of take me back to that time. Because I always used to joke how indie wrestling is always underattended, and now I do comedy on mostly the open mic circuit, which is 5 people is a draw. So yeah, I'm gonna fire some of these old clips up. See, see what I thought of what I did then. Now, maybe even sort of discuss, if I'd have done anything differently. So yeah, let's take this one back. Let's go see what we got going on here. So I'll be doing most of these sort of chronologically. So this one would be March 2013, if I'm correct. So this features me and ECW legend Steve Corino. Let's just press play, shall we? Linsky. You'll see in another clip, he lost like a bunch of weight. It's weird because that's what I obviously knew him as. And seeing him shrink is, oh, he looks so young. Seeing him shrink down was weird seeing at the time, but looking back, seeing him like this now, it's again weird. I cannot see any grey in my hair in this one. Just a quick note there. So that's my pal Zach, who was my commentary partner. And if you don't know if you noticed in the previous shot, but he was standing right in the middle of it, whereas I, being a cameraman at the time, knew get the fuck out of the way of the hard cam. And again, there he is standing in the way of the referee as the referee goes to check the turnbuckles. Very important role. You can't have the ring looking any more untidy than it needs to be.
We thank you for following us. What I'd like to do right now is hand over to our commentary team, and they're going to do something very special for us. So, Zach, over to you, my friend. Good evening, Taylor. You can do better than that. Come on, good evening, Taylor. Now, I'd like to introduce a special guest tonight, known all around the world, and he's been here before, the king of old school, Steve Corino.
So we chatted briefly in the back about that. But I'll go, this will become obvious very shortly, but, we just sort of sat down and picture of what, how this was going to all plan out. And Steve was like, okay, so we'll do this, this, and this. And let's just say that's not quite how it panned out.
Welcome, friend. Good to have you back in ATW. So, are you excited about being back?
And a good question.
Once again, Zach fucking hard.
Real excited to meet all the fans here. It's been a year since I've been back
Hope
in
you
the
moved.
UK. So I was very excited to be here. Now until everybody started coming in, and then like rude English people that you are, you basically ignored me. I'm sitting there signing autographs for what's supposed to be real good fans here at HEW.
Fortunately, the cameraman's sort of on the other side, so, when you can't see. The cameraman at the time, I think he's become quite good. That setup that they've got, I've seen a couple of things they've done recently for the nights up in Norwich, and they've really improved as production people. They're still learning just here, but yeah, either by luck or judgment, he still managed to set up in a good place where he didn't have Zach's ass in the hard cam. But yeah, so this was supposed to be like a back and forth between me and Steve just was like, I'm gonna go and see how long I can sort of drag this out. So and to be fair, it's yeah, it's what it does is fairly effective for what he was trying to achieve.
Tell you, but you shut him. You don't even say hi. What kind of hospitality? What kind of manners do you really have? What was that phrase?
Yep, that's me trying to sort of ask a second question, and yeah, I think that's the last thing I say in this segment.
Is that how it is? That's why you lie me. That's why we hate all of you in the States. That's why when... Hey, Fatso, not you, Linsky, the other fat guy. Reveal that. Open it up from the middle, idiot. You're queen, right? We don't care about your queen. We don't care about the princess. We don't care about the prince.
It's weird that we often used to sort of pull those curtains in shows, which is not even not weird, but kind of ironic because the royal family were famously massive water sport wrestling fans, and we'd often have a couple of water sport guys on these shows.
You know why? Because the monarchy sucks. That's why we're Americans, and that's why we got away from each and every one of you. Relax, kid. I know how to work this microphone. They don't know how to use the sound system, but I know how to work the microphone. And I speak proper English unlike you people. What was that? Little boy, let me tell you a story.
Little boy, it's little girl.
No, I can't. All you Brits look alike. Freaking ugly as sin.
So I hear that.
You ever hear the story about a British model? There's no such thing. What was that for eyes? What did you say again? I don't know, you all sound the same. Even the Australians don't want to be like you. I will kick you in the face, little kid. What are you, a football player? Yeah, well done, right? Real football is what Americans play. Excuse me?
I guess the cameraman could be... The trouble is only having one cameraman. Yeah, in a hall this size, it's a bit difficult having two guys running around the ring. But yeah, because I think that when I used to film stuff in the ring like this, I'd always try and get up on the apron so I'd be kind of level with the guys. Some promoters hated and sometimes it did leave an awkward moment of getting down from there with a big thing on your shoulder is not easy. But yeah, I think it's just one trick. I think it's Mark, the cameraman here, was missing.
Soccer, football, it's all the same. Any sport that's played by sitting there kicking a little ball doesn't take a lot of brains. That's why you guys are the retards of Europe. So we can start over, we can all shake hands.
So there's some gears turning on my head there. I'm not sure if it's a case of me sort of, having like a come to Jesus moment with regards to how terrible sport is, and not being a sport fan in the slightest, or if there's something going on in the hall. I can't remember. I don't think there was a particularly big crowd that night. I genuinely think I might be counting because I think it was a lower crowd than normal. So yeah.
You can go buy my brand new t-shirts that I brought over, and I'll accept your apologies. So you go make a straight line.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember selling many t-shirts this weekend. Oddly enough, there was a t-shirt site because I drove back with him after the last show, and he sort of said, "Yeah, I just spoke to one of my mates who runs his t-shirt site, and he was like, how many you got?" And he was like, "Oh, well, I've still got this many." And the guy was like, "Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'll put them up tomorrow." So, yeah, I'm guessing he sold them all pretty quickly. But yeah, just no one at these shows was really sort of, no one at these shows was sort of buying his stuff, which is unfortunate because he put on great matches all 3 nights.
I only have to worship because I heard everything was bad. I was right. All right, you want to give me this microphone? Stay. How do you respect the fans? If I hit tonight, come see you. Apparently you do not know who I am. To say that I will drag you out of that figure you're going to read to say over. That's a shame. That's what makes you an idiot. Because I've been around the world for 19 years while you're reading your channel now. You do because you're lazy. You're lazy to get that person. That's what you are. You are. Your arm's broken. Your legs are broken. That doesn't mean, dummy. Our favorite was about ready to the beginning of the event. Oh, you know what? I should be out this disabled.
Gotta love gotta love the amount of class he's putting in here. It's I honestly don't remember going on this long, otherwise I would have tried to sing this clip down.
Yeah, right, exactly.
There's only 2 minutes left, so.
Sit down, dummy. You have a proper job? Or doing what? Doing what? You work at Volkswagen? Nice crappy car. Yeah, I'm sure the Germans are real fast.
Really wishing would be nice to get like some camera shots of the crowd to see what he's arguing to see who he's arguing with, because I don't know if it's better you can imagine the sort of person, because again, 2 cameras pointing at him, they're just one shot of the person, just so you could see where he was, just so you could see why he was saying some of these things.
All right, Sharky, let's do this. Get out of here. I'm out of here. You're out of here. Do you want the microphone or do I have to have it? Are you the commentator or just a moron? All right.
And all the people running, nope. I'm not there.
Who wants to be next?
No, I am not anywhere to be seen. I am not stupid. Zach actually brought this up to me what later. He said, you disappeared pretty quickly from there. And to be fair, I was the heel commentator, so why would I be in any rush to stop it? And 2, I was the commentator. I was not a wrestler. I wasn't going to stand up to a former world champion. No, I'd already done things in the past that established me to be nothing but a gutless coward. Why would I change that to when there was a good chance of me getting hurt? There's that getting hurt there. Now, I am actually sitting at the desk at this point, and I do have the microphone in front of me, but I'm not saying anything. That is because crime makes things like this seem at least kind of real. The announcers aren't saying anything. It's sort of, it does capture the drama better. Of course, you can't do that with everything. But yeah, it does sort of give a feeling of, oh, this shouldn't be happening.
Hey, this is LJ, and we're kicking off Living on a Prayer 9. Whoa, I say we, it looks like I'm on my own right now.
There's me. So this is from about a year later. So I did some refereeing for a charity wrestling promotion for a little while. And this is building up to their third show, I think. Basically, there was an incident at the second show, and I was cutting an interview about it. And, well, this is it. Hi there, I'm Adam Joyce. I'm one of the referees here at CWA. Boy, do I look young there. Man, I was worried that leaving the wrestling industry, the wrestling industry, the time on the road and all the stuff in the ring and all the effort I was putting in was aging me. I look at myself from even stand up from 2018, I look at myself now and it's like, well, it wasn't wrestling that was aging me. It definitely wasn't comedy that was aging me. Apparently, the only thing that aged me was being told I couldn't leave my home for 4 months. Because I look at that last video and I'm, so skinny still. I look at me here and yeah, it's terrible. Just how badly I've aged in some respect. WA. You've probably seen all the other guys. They're all hyping up their matches to Take Down for Diabetes. That's the next event on September 6th at Riverside Ice and Leisure Centre. Now, me... you can see why I didn't cut many promos, can't you? I'm almost looking at the camera for some of this. I'm facing in the right direction, at least. But, yeah. To be fair... The actual setup might be one of the better setups of any promo for this event. I don't know if I'm going to bother linking them, but I think if you look, though, I've actually got I think the light behind me there. I've just put some paper over it and used that to light me, so I look fine. And I've got the TV in the background, just sort of playing a thing on loop. Just sort of some footage from the promotion, and for no good reason I put a guitar there because I thought it would look cool, but the camera is so zoomed in it just looks kind of in the way. Hey, man, I'm not here for that today. In fact, I'm here to talk about our last event. It's Battle for British Hearts back in January. Now, for those who didn't see it, if you weren't there live, you've not seen the footage, I'll fill you into what happened. In one of the matches I was refereeing, it was a tag match that featured Honest Ernest Sterling and Muscles Mansfield taking on the Cornells. I made a decision that apparently the Cornells didn't agree with. At the end of the match, they low-blowed Muscles Mansfield, and I think that rung the bell. I'm going to actually just run that back a sec. Muscles Mansfield and I rung the bell. Yeah, so I remember that's going slightly differently. So that is not how the match was supposed to end. That was not so right there you've got me disqualifying the two guys for the low blow. Now, that wasn't supposed to be the way the match ended. I cannot remember for the life. I think the guy was supposed to fire up, because you've got Muscles Mansfield in there on his own. I think he's supposed to fire up and defeat both of them. But that's obviously not what... Maybe they were supposed to defeat him, but... Yeah, basically the guy low-blowed him in front of me, and then in the back was like, oh, what did you disqualify me for? But I remember there being like this really awkward moment after he did it, because I legitimately remember looking around thinking, is there any chance anyone in this audience didn't see me watch that? And I sort of looked around and was like, no. So there's this, so I remember there being like this big sort of pause between it happening and me ringing the bell. Either I've edited it there so it doesn't seem as obvious, or it was really, really obvious. Because in any form of wrestling, that's a disqualification. Now, apparently they didn't agree with this. They thought they should have gotten away with it. And immediately following the match, they attacked me. They punched me out, stomped on me, and then kicked me out the ring. Now, I'm not an athlete. Yeah, that was legitimate. So, yeah, like I said, that is not how the match was supposed to end, and so they've got me in the corner there, and the little guy called to punch me, and I was like, okay. And the trouble is, yeah, so they beat me down, and then the guy pushes me out the ring. Now, this is a particularly high ring, not sort of higher than a lot of the rings I'm used to sort of working in. Also, I'm not trained in taking bumps out of the ring. Well, not like that anyway. So yeah, I was quite legitimately pissed off when I stormed away from the ring. The only thing that stopped me from having a screaming match with the guy in the back was I had to be up for to referee the next match. Yeah, I mean, the guy did sort of mention to me when I came back that I should have been looking elsewhere, or which time I'd calmed down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, had he sort of said that to me straight away, I would have exploded on him in front of the entire locker room, and I think most of them would have just, I don't know. I've spoken to some of them since, and they said, "Oh no, I definitely made the right call." But yeah, it was such a. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no ill will against the guy now. Sadly, the guy, he's not with us anymore. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, he passed a few years ago, and even then, I didn't bear any ill will towards him. But I was not. It was just on the day, I was really not happy with it.
I'm not a wrestler. That sort of thing shouldn't happen to a referee. I'm not trained to take it, and quite frankly, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And the thing is, when I went backstage, no one seemed that bothered by it. In fact, everyone seemed under the impression that, if I was in the ring, I was fair game, despite the fact that's flat out an assault on me. I think the only people who showed any concern for me that day were some kids in the front row when I went out for my next match.
That's true. That does sound familiar. The kids were sort of really happy to see me sort of. I mean, to be fair, I was selling the beating just taken, but yeah, I did eventually get back up into the ring to start the next match, which being the only thing more painful than the injury I was supposedly had was probably watching that match that happened afterwards. No, it's legit. Someone actually did a reaction video to that match. I might link, hopefully it's linked in the corner. But yeah, it was not pretty. Just the people involved, it was just bad chemistry, and it was just not good.
Now, I've gone to CWA management about this, and they agree with me. They've done the right thing, in my opinion, and they're punishing the Cornells. So if there are any fans of the Cornells out there, I'm afraid you won't be seeing them at any future CWA events appearing as a tag team.
Gotta love my graphics work right there. That is some top-notch Photoshop on my part.
They will, however, be appearing in singles action, going one-on-one with each other at the next event, Takedown for Diabetes. However, the reaction of the locker room as a whole over that incident is something I'm not really happy with. Like I said, I'm an official. I'm in there to act as the authority. I'm carrying the power of the company on my back every time I'm officiating a match. And the same goes for Grant Mitchell, who also during that event suffered a lot of attacks from various different wrestlers. So I've decided I'm going to take it on my shoulders to try and retrain every member of the CWA roster. I'm going to take it old school. I'm going to enforce the rules with an iron fist. I've let myself go lax over the last little while. I, like a lot of people, seem to have forgotten that at its base, wrestling as a sport is not just about entertainment. And I've let the rules, slide a little, just so I felt people getting those money's worth. And as a result, I think the sport has suffered because of myself and people who have that similar opinion. So as a result, starting at Takedown for Diabetes, I'm going to be bringing back all the old school rules that the referees they don't enforce nowadays, try and show the wrestlers that I am a force to be reckoned with in that ring, and I'm not just a gimmick for them to attack. So to all the guys to take down for diabetes and all future CWA shows, I'm going to be in there. And you're not going to like it, but you are going to learn to respect the authority of the referees. And as for the Cornells, I'll see you on September 6th.
Wow, that's the most. So one of the first things they tell you when you learn to cut promos is, you always got to give the place and the date, the name of the event, and that was probably the most generic way I think I could have done it. How did the match go? I do remember the match. I came up with a finish that, the guys were like, oh, okay, we can work with that. No one let the ring announcer in on it, though. What was supposed to happen was one of the old school rules that I was supposed to bring back was there's a system in British wrestling called the public warning system, and I was going to be like, I will bring that back. That will gives the crowd something to pop for, because public warnings do get a reaction, but it also means that it gives the heel a chance to cheat in front of the referee and get away with it technically, because the match still continues. And I thought, okay, this is great. So what happens is the heel does something, I call a public warning, the ring announcer announces it, one discussing it with the ring announcer, something happens behind me, cheap heat finish. And that would have worked fine had the ring announcer known what the hell a public warning was. To be fair, it's not the only that story. I don't think actually went anywhere after that. There was another naff finish I did, either at this event or the next one, that I kind of wanted to fight, but Promote was like, "Oh no, it'll be fine." And I did it, and I wasn't happy with it, and I half-assed it and the crowd were just like, yeah, it was the sound of passing gas. But yeah, you can see my skill with a microphone has come across, improved massively since then. I may not be the greatest orator of our time, but I think I've stepped up a fair bit from there. This is the last clip I've got. This is an interesting one. In short, I was possibly slightly inebriated here. Not the most professional approach I could have taken, but I'd had a gig the night before, a couple of beers at the gig, not really drunk anything the next morning, and I was getting a lift in, so they met me at the pub, but they were running late, so I was like, well, I can just have a beer and check my emails. There was an issue when we got to the venue, so I was like, well, let's go to the pub, and I had a couple more bits. So yeah, right here, I am not am I most compos mentis, which explains exactly what happened from the moment I get in the ring here. So you can see there's Linsky. So yeah, he looks so much better now he's cut all the weight. It was weird at the time seeing him look like that, because I was so used to seeing how he looked previously. Oh, there's the camera. So I'm doing an in-ring promo to start him, and yep, things are going well. Oh, I was tempted to hop up to the apron there, but I stepped up because I'm professional. You can tell things are going, things are planned out well. They're still setting the lights when we're starting the show. I'm so thin there. I'm got at least 4 inches less on my waist right, and I can feel every one of them sitting here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. It's like Greenhouse, your hero, Mr. Sam Lee.
Yep. Not overconfident there in the slightest. But then again, I mean, when has alcohol ever induced that in anyone? Right, I feel this needs some background because I mean, Sam's gonna go into it at the end of this, but I think this clip's been cut short. So, right, so right there, he is wearing the T-shirt of his tag team, who, yeah, let's just say things have got a bit acrimonious behind the scenes between him and his partner, and his partner wouldn't be at one of these shows. I believe it was 5-6 years before they sort of started making amends again. I won't go into everything, but let's just say things were not friendly between the two. Who did he replace his tag partner with? The girl who did the raffle, and nothing sort of, instantly changes a bit. Like a crowd's opinion of you, then some goth makeup and some cut-up sites. So,
Now, Sam, you've been silent now for the last few months. We know you've got something out of his chest about man was on that show you left in the entrance way there. Your former partner, Brett Mello, thought you got to say on.
If you ever mention that name to me again, you will never work here again, you stupid people.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should never drink in a ring. No, basically, he didn't push me that hard, but in drinking, my balance was off, and I just went straight through those. I mean, to keep it straight with people, if you are at any point looking into getting into wrestling, I can't have been that out of it because I did the sensible thing, which is grab the rope. If anything, if you ever watch anyone hit the ropes in wrestling, they will always find some way to either grab the rope or hook the rope. It literally is just to stop you landing on your head. But what run this the rest of the way through. It looks bad the way I fell there, but I took most of that on my feet because I grabbed the rope. That might have been one of the safer bumps taken by anyone that evening. Although getting straight up from it feels sort of takes some of the impact away. Because if it cut to that shot slightly quicker, it would be able to. But yeah, no, I should have stayed down a lot quicker for that. So yeah, he's going into it here, but the team, they were like massive fan favorites here. They've been like nearly 5 years at this point. Yeah, it's been like over 4 years. They've been like massive fan favorites, and the turn just kind of happened by accident. Basically, they just happened to fight with a team who the crowd liked considerably less than them, and since then they've been like these big sort of hometown boy crowd favorites. And yeah, and a few months before this, they tried becoming like bad guys again, and let's just say it hadn't really kind of worked for them. Yeah, they had to, every show they had to start off. It's like the big crowd favorites, and had to turn them as the segment or the match would go on. Doesn't seem to be so much of an issue here, though.
Oh, aren't you clapping for me anymore? Am I not your hero anymore? I don't give a damn whether I'm your hero or not. All you ugly people in this audience pay to see me do what I do. But do you know what? The real funny thing is, that's the point. I have your money, so I already won.
So the first clip I sort of showed, you saw my partner Zach get beat up. That was the last time I was seen on that show till just before the main event. Me being the trooper I was dragged around to the commentary desk and I was back at it by the next segment because, well, really it wasn't planned for me to do otherwise. Actually, for that first segment, whereas on my own, they ended up pairing me up with a guy called Mal Mason. It's not a name a lot of people know, but if you read the first Chris Jericho autobiography, he is named in there. Jericho names him as the worst referee he's ever been in the ring with, which says a lot about Jericho because I've been on shows with at least 3 who were worse than he was. At least 3. Yeah. Sadly, Mal no longer with us, but age gets you in the end, doesn't it? But that was a fun time doing the show with Mal because, yeah, I didn't need to say a lot. He would just ramble on, and some of the things he said were just so unintentionally hilarious. I was just biting my lip, just like, no, got to play this straight. Show here. I did start slurring my words after that point. But I feel most people would be convinced I had a concussion. So I was like, no point in stop. I might as well just lean into it. And so I was just distracted and slurring my words. And people were just like, no, that tracks for that exact situation. I guess I should do some final thoughts, really, shouldn't I? So, what are my final thoughts on that? It's interesting, sort of looking back, see younger me, thinner me, a less grey me. Time is so cruel. It was kind of cool looking back, just to sort of relive some of those moments, though. That was nice. Like I said, there are things I would have done differently. The Carino stuff, that went on a while. I don't know if I should have just. I was going to say exit the ring, but I was supposed to be interviewing him, and that obviously didn't work out well. 8 minutes that segment went on with. I don't think that's how long it was just scheduled for. We were supposed to have like a back and forth. Then he was just supposed to build up slowly, but he just halfway through the first question, when I went for the second question, he was like, "No, it's all right, kid. I got this." I mean, don't worry, I'm not going to try and rank my own performance because obviously I'm fantastic. Do I miss it? I do. I do miss it. I'm not going to lie. Other than, I mean, I've considered I'd go back intermittently, but I don't think I'd ever go to do anything like the schedule that I was only doing it I was doing it most weekends, and then I was doing things like Wrestle Talk TV during the week. I don't know if I keep that schedule. I don't have the interest anymore.
Another long Saturday of driving out of my way to work this show for no pay in front of 5 paid fans. This kid kicked out 7 times after a suicide dive, DDT and Northern Lights. He must be Superman.
Hey. Oh, man. Let's try that again. But still, it was a... So yeah, so I was a referee for this. This is me. Let's try this again.